music that drag us back. You guys don't care about the rest of the song. Nobody's in here singing the last verse that Katy Perry sang. You're all thinking about the chorus because that chorus is in your head, right? It brings you back to a certain moment. You'll start having memories. You'll even start, you know, some people even start smelling things that they heard in a specific song. Like if they were at a party or something, they'll start smelling the barbecue and stuff, right? It has these capabilities to do that to our brains. So that's what we can use in today's music to help psychological patients, to help in our therapies. We can use the capabilities of hooks and rhythms and, you know, these Pythagoras theorem, the Pythagoras scale and everything. We can use the mathematics of music for the bettering of our psychological therapies. So I have another video that I want to show you an example of how music can kickstart the cognitive dynamics in our brain.
I have one resident that really opened her eyes, she didn't respond. As much as I tried, I knew her for 2 years. No matter what I tried, the massage wouldn't work, nothing worked. But when we got introduced to the iPods, and the family told me the things that she liked, it was amazing once we put the iPod on her. She started shaking her feet, started moving her head. Her son was just amazed. Okay, can we stop? Now I'm getting all I'm seeing her all over again.
Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa. How you doing?
All right, fine.
Who am I? Okay, it's Cherry. How long has he been in the nursing home? Approximately 10 years. He's having seizures. And my mother couldn't handle him at home. Of course it affected me greatly because he was always, fun-loving, singing, every occasion he would come out with a song, no matter where he was. I remember as a child, he used to walk us down the street, me and my brother, and he would stop and do singing in the rain. He would have us jumping and swinging around poles. He was, he was good. He was always into music, always loved singing, dancing.
His name is Henry Drea. And looking more or less for revisiting the film. Because he enjoys music and he always quoted the Bible. So rather have that than.
We first see Henry inert, maybe depressed, unresponsive, and almost unalive.
Henry.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yes.
I found your music. Want your music now?
What do you want me?
Let's try your music, okay? Give me tell me if it's too loud or not.
Then he is given an iPod containing, we know, his favorite music. And immediately he lights up. His face assumes expression, his eyes open wide. He starts to sing, to rock, and to move his arms, and he's being animated by the music.
And he used to always sit on the unit with his head like this. He didn't really talk to much people. And then when I introduced the music to him, this is his reaction ever since.
The philosopher Kant once called music the quickening art, and Henry is being quickened, he's being brought to life. Yeah.
I'm going to take the music for 1 second, okay? Just to ask you a few questions. Okay? I'm going to give it back to you. Okay.
The effect of this doesn't stop, which when the headphones are taken off, Henry, normally mute, virtually unable to answer the simplest yes or no questions, is quite voluble. Henry?
Yeah.
Do you like the iPod? Do you like the music you're hearing?
Yeah.
Tell me about your music.
Well, I don't have none. I mean,
Do you like music?
Yeah, I'm crazy about music, and you play beautiful music, beautiful sound, beautiful.
Did you play music when you were, did you like music when you were young?
Yes, yes, I went to big dances and things.
What was your favorite music when you were young?
I guess, Calloway was my number one fan guy, all right? That didn't hold it, I had the head, the hold it, the nail, the eye, the eye.
What was your favorite Cab Calloway song?
Oh, I'll be home for Christmas. You can complain on me with plenty of snow, mistletoe, present, red brand tree. Ow!
So in some sense, Henry is restored to himself. He has remembered who he is, and he's reacquired his identity for a while through the power of music.
So you guys can see, I mean, this guy couldn't remember his daughter for a second, and now he's singing songs from like 50 years ago in the perfect rhythm, you know, it's taking him back to his childhood, and you can't deny that, you know, even if it is just a chemical thing, it is the music that's making you go through that stage. So now I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right, good afternoon, guys. Now that you finished the first boring part of the presentation, there's going to be another boring part. Just hold on with us for a little bit longer, okay? So before we begin with music therapies, I'd like to talk, just like Henry, I'd like to tell a little story about Mallory Anthony. In 2009, she was invited to a lunch at an organization to sing for the organization. However, a few days before, she drained 2.5 liters of fluid from her lungs, and she was at 4th stage of her cancer, meaning that cancer was all over her body. So she was essentially living. She didn't know when she was going to die or live. So that very morning in March 2009, when she woke up, and that very day of lunch, she had to pick ER to go to the emergency room, or she would go to lunch, or to go to lunch to sing. And then she picked lunch to sing. She went to lunch to sing instead of going to ER. Really, the article does not go as far as what happened to her afterwards. But there's a quote that she said, I believe a few days after. She said, "I think music is a really strong therapeutic tool. It just gets to you no matter where you are. If you hear a familiar tune, it just kind of moves your spirit." So from this, and it is clear that just like Henry, music has done something to her or to him that none of other things that could have done. Like no other person, no other, I don't know, and nothing else could have made them move like that. Or you just heard Henry singing, and he has an amazing voice. And music allowed him to do that. It was an influence on the music. Can we go to the next slide? And I want to talk about the effect of music and how many of you, obviously we talked about it, how many of us here listen to songs, right? We listen to songs, right? This is a very personal question, but how many of you guys went through a breakup, right? You guys went through a breakup. Sorry. Sorry, and
More than many.
Okay, so did you guys listen to any songs that night?
Yeah.
What kind of songs did you guys listen to?
That's sad. You got Drake on it.
Okay, but why? Why did you listen to Drake songs? You started thinking about it. Why did you start thinking about it?
Because you listen to Drake.
No, but what was it that made you think about it?
It's like the mood of the song.
The mood of the song, the lyrics. So you essentially related to the music. So when you went through a breakup, you listened to something that's related to you, so you could express and even find a comfort in a way that you couldn't find in any other way, right? So you cry overnight. No, I'm not gonna. When I was in high school, I used to play basketball for a team. I was the only Asian kid. Everyone was taller than me. I was pretty much the shortest kid. It was very hard for me to actually even survive there, you know. So In my senior year, I was always afraid to go against, I was like a bench player my junior year. I played like 15 seconds for an entire season. And my senior year, I became a starter. I worked really, really hard to beat everybody. Not beat them up, but to beat them in the court. And then every time every game day, right, I'll be so scared. My hand will shake like this, just like I am right now. My hand will shake like this so hard that I can't even shoot, that I can't even talk to anyone. My voice will shake. I was like anxious, like crazy. And I remember listening to a lot of rap songs, like Eminem, J. Cole. Like I'm the original fan of J. Cole actually. When I was in college, I used to like Eminem, like Not Afraid, The Way I Am, like those songs I could so relate to it. They gave me courage and they like raised me up to even like to fight my own fear, to fight on the court. I wasn't that good of a player, but I was decent. And thanks to the songs, I was able to play it. I really honestly think if it wasn't those songs, I don't think I would have played in the games. Because I was so scared. Right. And no, before we go on, I like to have 3 quotes from Boyle from 1979. It was a study done, and I would like to just make a quote. He said, music preferences are generally recognized as tangible reflections of attitudes, meaning the music that you listen to may be who you are, or is who you are. What kind of songs do you listen to? Do they have relationships? Korean songs. Very moody. They're all about love. And listen carefully. LeBlanc in 1980 said, music preferences decisions are based on the input information, parentheses, music stimuli, meaning that it could be a rhythm, melody, lyrics, just like we talked about, the music that we listen to can be that, or it could be culturally influenced, right? And the characteristics of the listener. The music that you are listening to has been affected by something higher. So it's a hierarchy model, which means that the music that you listen to might be an influence of your environment and of something that's you're not controlling. So if it's Drake or if you listen to any pop music, I'm 100% sure that you might like it because it's famous, because it is mainstream, right? It could be very, very influential. Yes?
When you said your story, I wanted to share that I used to listen to this one song in high school when I was having a rough time. And I listened to that song every single morning. And then I finally met the artist, and when I met the artist, I started crying.
Wow.
Because that song impacted me so much that I was like, oh my God. It was from My Chemical Romance, Sing.
Can you sing?
I met Jordan. And I met the lead singer, and I was just like, oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's like classical jazz. Like I'm a big fan of it. I like a lot of the old school music and stuff. And like sometimes I just close my eyes, especially when I'm having a stressful day or something. Just like 10 minutes of that, you know, and I feel a lot better.
Right. Exactly. Thanks, guys, for sharing. And also, one other thing that I want to talk about pop music. It's mainstream music. There are actually several reasons why you guys listen to pop music, and you prefer one song over another. I didn't say this, okay? Boyle said, some of you guys think you guys are better than others. That's why you guys prefer some songs more than others. Some of you guys think you're inferior than others. Some of you guys think that you guys live harsher life than others. That's why you guys prefer some songs over the other. I didn't say this, okay? The list goes on, and music definitely is a big part of our lives. It's impossible. It cannot be this big. Imagine watching a movie without music. I'm sorry, you're a bad actor. You'll be a bad actor in my eyes. Okay?
So that's only today. Before, remember what I said earlier? Historically, it wasn't always like that.
Right. So now, I'm talking about most of it, how music can be a therapeutical, how could it help and support us. Now, I'm not talking about actual music therapy. There's a professional, evidence-based music therapy sessions out there that helps you guys. So in this PowerPoint, I kind of want to share that, but this is not the main point of the presentation. So I don't want to mislead you guys. Okay? So music therapy is a clinical and evidence-based use of music and interventions to release maybe your stress, There are some ways to do it. There's a music therapy professionals, just like counselors. And in a session, you create songs, you sing songs, you learn songs, you learn how to play instruments, or you just do whatever with the music that they tell you to, and that's the professional side of the music therapy. Again, that's not the point that that's not the direction that I want to go towards at this point. The rest of my PowerPoint is going to be about research-based information that you guys could obtain to see that how music influences you in your stress levels, even in your immune functions, even in your, who's scared of going to dentists? You have dental anxiety, it helps you in that. It helps you in depression and anxiety as well. All right, so let us begin. So music and stress. Obviously even if we don't know what it's exactly related to, we know that it is related. Just like you have said, sir, that you used to classical jazz when you're really stressed, and then you relieve yourself, right? Okay, so in 2014, college student journals, just like you and I, students gathered up and they conducted a research to see a relationship between stress and playing music, right? So in the study, they actually, between classes, they freed up the class and they invited the students to come in and just listen to their favorite song. They could play any song they want, and you could listen to it for how long as you want, and then you could just leave. Right? That's basically study. But every time you come into the room, you have to do a survey, and you have to rate your stress level from 1 to 10. And that was basically it. And in that study, they found that they did an span of 4 years, and they found that minimum of 10% of stress level has decreased from starting semester and by the end of the semester. So every week, student came in to listen to music, and just by doing that, they relieved stress by 10% from scale to 1 to 10. Okay? So this is pretty interesting, listening and biological functions. Guys named Eddie and Hideki, they're from Japan. In 2003, they did a study of how music can affect our biological functions. I think this is very, very interesting. But when I read the research, I found that most of the research was not proven right. Music had no influence. However, it had one aspect, it had one thing that had influence on, and it's called natural killer cell. Does anybody know what natural killer cell is?
Is that a white blood cell?
That is a white blood cell. It's an immune system. Right. You say something else? No? Okay. It's our immune system. So Eddie and Hideki, they put Japanese students in a very stressful tasks that I do not know. It might be an exam, it might be some other things that they have done. So after a very stressful task, they weren't sitting in the room. They put it in 3 different locations. One was in a silent room. Second was in low uplifting music. Third was in high uplifting music. Now, low uplifting and high uplifting, they said, is based on the majority vote of the Japanese students. So I do not know what exact song that they were listening to. So in a silence room, so in all 3 occasions, actually, natural killer cell decreased, which is bad. So you want your white blood cells, but in all 3 occasions, it decreased. However, they found that in high uplifting music, listening to high uplifting music it made natural killer cell decrease the least. So it decreased the minimum. So listening to music after a stressful task actually helps you into preserving your white blood cells. And CD16, by the way, is a surface of natural killer cell in a type of white blood cell. Okay. Okay, and our music therapy and depression and anxiety. This was done in Arizona State University, I believe in 2013 by Crow and Davis. They did a study on 14 female students, so there weren't any male students. 14 female students were going through depression and anxiety issues. It was severe. Some of them were severe, some of them were not. So this one, just like I talked about before, they actually went through the music therapy sessions for 4 weeks with professional. They sang songs, they created, they played, and within 4 weeks, right, they show a significant amount of depression level, anxiety level going down gradually. And it was, so the research was successful, it was 100%. All of them, all 14 of them were